a couple weeks ago, I was being shown, um, they kept showing me how everything is in this square. So it's very 4 points to the square. And what they were showing me is humans tend to think about everything with 4 points on each corner. So bear with me for a minute because it's going to make sense in a minute, but there's no intersection points. So, or very few, because when it's 4 points, there's only two lines that come together here, two lines that come together, and two and two. And so this is why most physical things can only experience that realization. They can't go past the four lines, okay? Universal, okay, and this is where we get into sacred geometry, which is really interesting because that's Mandela's our representation of sacred geometry, which I find really that's why
Yeah.
and so there's 95 points that intersect in every single cell from a universal perspective. And once those 95 points are understood and completed, there's three more higher points. So there's a total of 98 that intersect. Okay.
Okay.
And the reason this is important is it's a big, huge circle, actually, and we have to go backwards to then go forwards, is recognition of self so they're showing me self-awareness. Okay. So that recognition of self that you've been working on really for the like 18, 19 years. Like this is not a new journey for you. This is,
Yeah.
a challenge that you've gone through. You've gone through the hills and the valleys and the mountains and the cliffs. You've done all of that on that side. And now you've the way they're saying it is you've conquered the corners and the dark spaces of your mind. And now you need to rise into the capacity of your soul, which a lot of us think, okay, we've used our soul to do what we've already done because it's felt like we've been through hell and back.
Hmm.
And what they're saying is that it's true because really the physical aspects and the, it's so two-dimensional or even one-dimensional, right? It's those just the four corners. That's really what we have to do first. We have to go through that self-awareness stage on the physical aspects, right? Because there's three aspects inside of each of us, right? There's who we think we are, who we want to be, and who we're actually being. And they're very, 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 very different. Like who we
Yeah.
think we are and who we're actually being, right? It's so different.
Yeah.
And when we come to that place, and this is where you are, so this is why you've gone through, and it's not just one or two crumbling of what you were doing and what you thought was going to be, solid
Yeah.
and for such a long time. And then boom,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it crumbles or it's pulled out from underneath you because it's instantaneous. Like
Yeah.
it's one thing after another, right? But you're at the place now where now you have to build on the foundation. So you've created the foundation. This is where really most humans are right now is the ones who've gone through. Okay, so there's two sides, right? There's the sides I don't want to see anything. I'm just going to stay here. And then
Yeah.
there's the other side of I want to see all the things. And
Yeah.
we've been working on personal development. We've been working on self-awareness. And that's where you've been. You've been there, you know, like they said, right? 18, 20 years. Like this is a long journey. And now you're in the space where you need to start to grow. And as much as we're like, but haven't I grown already? Not from a soul and universal perspective.
Hmm.
Okay. You've done
Yeah.
the human side work,
Yeah.
and now you're in a space of reconnection with your soul. That's where the 95 intersections become important because every single one of your cells as a human have 95, well, they have 98 intersection points because that's how we were created, except we're not using the top three because we don't know how to access them. You can't access them until your body comes into balance and your mind, everything comes into alignment with a higher knowing. Okay. So we have intuition, which is great. And this is where a lot of people, when I say a lot, I mean it's still a minority by far, right? And you're definitely in the minority. You're in that leadership group where it's, I went first and I've done it so that you can help
Yeah.
others and help make it easier for others. That being said, there are that group where now we need to move forward. We need to go beyond all physical limitations. And that's why you're asking these big questions. That's where you're asking these questions about money and how does money work within that realm, right? Because money was founded and created in the physical realm and ultimately it was intended for control and manipulation. We know that. It's not a
Yeah.
surprise, right? And
100%.
and then we all we've all had to go through the thing where, you had to learn not to hate money and to learn to love money because you were resentful and angry and
Yes.
scared, right? We're scared of money because it's going to control me. And you've done all that, right? Like there's no surprises here. And now you're at this place where how can I use it as a tool to build this new world that I'm meant to be moving into?